Hi, everyone. Welcome to another California Psychics live stream. I'm here with Psychic Kerrigan, and I am your moderator, Carly. We have a very exciting, very cool, I can't even tell you how fun this live is going to be show for you today. A few things for people that might just have stumbled across us right now and don't even know who we are. California Psychics is a psychic hotline where people can call in and get readings. And today I am here with Psychic Kerrigan, who's going to be doing a special Halloween edition for us today, where she is at a haunted location. Can't say exactly where, but a haunted location where we are going to be going over tons of different paranormal investigation tools and taking questions on how these tools work, as well as answering questions about people's deceased loved ones they want to connect to get those connections started. So without any further ado, Kerrigan, do you want to tell us a little bit about where you're at and how this all works?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'm in what TV stations say is the most haunted location in America. And I'm not alone. I have a friend here that's a fellow paranormal investigator that I work with a lot, because you just don't want to come in here by yourself. But we are, I don't know if I'm allowed, yeah, just skip that. So this home has been featured on multiple television stations. This home is, it sits on top of a ley line. And if people don't know what a ley line is, it consists of a couple of different things. It's a hot spot of paranormal activity for spirits to come and pour it in through the ley line. It takes a lot to create a ley line. You have to have running water, and we have a river right in front of the house. That water is a portal, and it's also a constant flow, and that flow of energy feeds spirits to have divine life, because spirits are not like us. They do not have that divine life, and they sometimes can utilize that energy from the ley line to receive it. Unfortunately, sometimes they can use us to receive that energy to live, to move things, to talk to us, those types of things. Another part of the ley line is some tragedy. There were coal mine explosions and coal mine fires under this house. It does sit on top of a coal mine portal. Behind the house was Native American, sacred, Shawnee, and Iroquois tribe, the tribes where they did their ceremonies. It's part of the French and Indian War. It's also part of the Underground Railroad. The owners and founders of Bel Air, this is one of their homes, and they were all abolitionists. So there's some cubby holes. It's getting paranormal cold. Upstairs where the servants would stay. They would stay up there. They were actual servants of this house. I've got chills. It's cold, but it's like not. It shouldn't be that cold. And sometimes when you go into locations, you can actually feel that chill, and that's just spirit coming to you. And they've had already started to talk to us before we even did hit live. Oh boy, what else? There was a lady that died like right here where I am. Her name was Lied, and how we remember that is Lied died here in this house. And her brother became so depressed and so he's so full of grief. He loved his sister so much. She was more of like a mother to him than anything. She actually signed his draft card, where the research with the mother, it's very little. There's hardly any research other than her name, and that she actually had children and who she was married to. But his name's Ed. Really, Edwin, I have to respect him. So his name's Edwin, and he was here with her, and he hired all of these people to come in this room way back in the day to create a seance. He was known as a seer, and these people would come in like modern day psychic mediums to help him connect to his deceased sister in the afterlife. So we weren't there, of course, because that was a long time ago. So we don't know if it was successful or not. But through data collection and modern day paranormal equipment, and me being a psychic and working with other psychics that come here, we have definitively understand that he was absolutely 100% able to connect to a sister. 100%.
Wow.
So that's a big deal here. We always leave a chair. I'm actually in the seance room right now where he conducted these seances to connect to deceased loved ones. And then when the coal miners perished, he actually put an ad in the newspaper for the wives to come here to try to connect to their husbands that died and their brothers, their uncle, just their deceased loved ones. And that was a big deal too. So, I mean, that's just a wee little bit of the history of this location. I think if I give out any more, people might catch on to where I'm at, and then I'm not going to be here very much longer. So, yeah.
Man, that is
Yeah.
fascinating. I can't believe, like you said, how many different.
The
Oh,
REM pod's going off. Wait. So we'll
oh
talk
my
about what the REM pod is. But hello, hi,
I'm so
Edwin,
excited.
is that you? Edwin, could you please shut that off? Please shut that off. Lied, if that's you, could you shut it off, please?
Uh-oh.
Guys, could you please shut it off? I have to work. We'll talk in a minute. I have to work, okay?
Well, while that's going off in the background, I just want to remind people that we are going to be here for the next hour. Kerrigan will be showing off, like I said, about 4 or 5 different paranormal investigative tools she uses. And for each tool, she'll explain how it works, and then we'll take audience questions about that tool. And then once we get all the questions out of the way about how a tool works, we will take a few questions from what else happened? Oh, we will take then a few questions from the audience to see if we can connect to your deceased loved ones. So we ask that whenever you ask a question in the chat, please, if your name isn't already in your username, put your name and then the person that you are trying to connect to. But please send all your questions in now, and I'll scroll through when it comes time to get those questions answered.
It's making 2 noises.
Oh.
It's not supposed to make 2 simultaneous noises. It's temperature and the energy, like the temperature is dropping or heating, and then the spirit is coming near it as well. That's why.
Oh man. We've got a lot of people that want to talk right now, it seems like.
Could you guys please shut it down? Please, we're going to talk through different pieces of equipment. Okay? Please shut that down.
Huh?
I'm gonna have to shut it down for a second.
Well, yeah, we'll pause it and come back to it. Okay, so before we get into the specific tools, though, Kerrigan, you were telling me a lot of, there are people that want to get out there and try to do this by themselves. What should they know ahead of time before they get started?
Well, never investigate alone. Never. You could be in a location like this. This location does not allow just one person to investigate. It's always in pairs. You always have to protect yourself too. So I personally, and I think it's best that everybody would do this too. If you have some kosher salt, I know everybody's big on sea salt and Himalayan salt and all that good stuff. And that's great. But I mean, if you're going into a location that is extremely haunted, you want to make sure you shower, put some kosher salt at the base of your bathtub, swish your feet back and forth before you go out to your investigation. I always use iron nails and I put them in a red pouch, and I'm going to show you this now. And I always keep it, someplace safe, because iron repels negative energy, and silver and shiny things like this, it repels, it's illuminating. If they can see the reflection in it, the negative energies would run away from it. So that's one of the reasons why I wore this. I turned that off, completely off.
Ooh, I'm getting all chilled.
That's the temperature, right? Yeah. And you can get like little bottles or, a water bottle, and you can put the kosher salt in it. And when you leave locations, just shake it up and make sure that, you bless yourself, like how you would put on perfume. I always do an equilateral cross because it's my belief system. And then you can, again, take your shoes off, even if it's in January and it's cold, take your shoes off and swish your feet back and forth before you leave any location. And the last thing that you want to do, I mean, there's a lot of other things that you can do. You could burn frankincense and myrrh to cleanse yourself. You need to definitely use sage to cleanse your body before you leave. Remember, sage is for our body. Sage is not for our homes. We get that idea. Sorry, we get that. You're going to see me do this because there's voices, and I'm just trying to figure out where they're coming from. But you can. A lot of people do sage their home, but I would add on top of it the frankincense and the myrrh, and like kosher salt and water, which equates to holy water. Went off again. This is really, I'm sorry, this is difficult to stay concentrated on what I'm supposed to say with all of this equipment going off. Those are just some things that you can use. And then the last thing that I would do, just, that's very important when you're walking out the door of any location, a funeral home or anything like that, like say you have a wake, you'd say, any spirits do not follow me. You need to stay here, and you need to use an authoritarian voice when you say that. And then get home, make sure you cleanse your body again, using Palo Santos. Am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely good. I would get some of that and burn that. I actually have sticks of it, yes, and I use those sticks on my body. I use those sticks in homes when I'm blessing homes and stuff like that. You never want to do this inside of your own home. And I get sometimes that people lose loved ones and they are transitioning to the spirit realm. I totally understand that. But when you open up that path, when you open up that gateway or that portal, at any time, you really don't know if someone that isn't your deceased loved one is going to be coming through. It could be something else. And then if it is something else, then you actually could be in danger and your family could be in danger. And so you never want to do this stuff at home. You just do not. No Ouija boards. And everybody calls them Ouija board. They're not called Ouija boards. They're called a Ouija board. It's Ouija. So, I mean, this is proper terminology, but you don't ever do that, because if you would sit there with the planchette, if you would sit there and utilize one of them, you're putting forth your energy into that. And you make yourself wide open for attachments. And I can get into like the soul attachments and all that kind of stuff like that, but that would be a different time. But you don't want to open yourself up to the susceptibility of having an attachment, because I mean, that will make you feel lethargic. You'll start to, you'll just be off. Your energy will be off. So it's so important to cleanse yourself before and after. Now, I do this a lot, an awful lot. You have to also know your limitations. So say you're in a location that's haunted and you start to feel like you're in the fun house. Hi, just one moment, please. Like you're in the fun house and you start to feel like you're swaying back and forth, or you get a headache. It's okay to step out and go outside and cleanse yourself. Always carry something with you. That's important. That your salt, your Palo Santo sticks, frankincense and myrrh incense, you can cleanse yourself with that. But you should never, ever, if you're having that symptomology where you're starting to feel physically drained or have a headache or like you're going to vomit, you need to leave the location. Absolutely 100%. Don't try to be a big shot and tough it out, because you're going to end up puking on somebody's floor and then you're probably clean it up, and that's embarrassing.
So that's all very good information, because I know there are some people that are just so excited and are going to download the app they find on, whatever app store, and then all of a sudden they're in over their heads. So that is very, very good advice.
Yes.
And then I also want to mention we have a special promo code today. So before we get into the tools, again, we have a special promo code. First time on one of our lives, it is GHOST10. So GHOST10 is 10 bonus dollars, 10 extra dollars on your account if you're a new customer. So if you've never gotten a reading with California Psychics before, download our app or go to our website, create an account, and when you buy your first package, you'll get an extra $10 on your account if you use the promo code Ghost 10. And I would highly recommend calling Kerrigan to get a reading. So Kerrigan, when are your hours this week?
Tomorrow noon to 2.
Is that Eastern or Pacific?
Eastern time, noon to 2 tomorrow. And I think there's some in the evening too. Yeah, I think the evening might be Wednesday, like something to 8. If you look on Kerrigan and search it, you could see my schedule. It's on there.
Her bio will be linked in the description on Facebook and on YouTube, because we are on both right now. So make sure you click on that and get in her queue or schedule an appointment, because you're not gonna want to miss a one-on-one reading with Kerrigan. And we have a lot of people watching today. On Facebook, we have 59 people watching. On the YouTube channel, we have 111. I love that 111. A good number. So thank you all for watching. People like Alexis over on YouTube, and Lauren Ashley over on Facebook, and who else we got? Fareed on YouTube, and Jess Morgan. And on Facebook, we have they're just coming in now. Pam Aretz and Joanna and Anne Marie. Thank you all for watching. We really appreciate it. And we're going to get to as many questions as possible today. But first, our first tool, it is just begging to be talked about in the background. You want to tell people about the Rem Pod and what that is?
This is called a Rem Pod, and when a spirit walks up to it, it will actually go off. They can touch it, they can sense their energy, and the theory is that it will detect that. It also detects temperature with this little button right here. It will detect temperature. This one, you turn them on in the bottom like this. It takes batteries, and they actually, when you turn them on, they have to calibrate. So this isn't a ghost. You really can't, you're not supposed to hold them. You're supposed to leave them in a position to where nobody is around it, so nobody would walk past it to set it off. I normally keep 4 or 5 of these in different rooms, and then if we hear them, then we know that there's activity going into that room. Then we can invite it into the seance room, or go into that room to speak with them and use extra equipment. But one time here, we were singing and we were dancing in the foyer. And the cool thing was that we were playing some old music, old time music, like from the 20s and the 30s. And they started to actually go within rhythm. These lights would be lighting up within rhythm.
Cool.
Song. And then we would say the song would stop. And when the song stopped, we would say, do you want to play another song? If so, light up these buttons, light up these lights, and they would light them up. So we'd put on another song. And it was amazing. It was so much fun. That, in life, there's good and there's positive and there's negative. There's some spirits that are earthbound spirits here, which means that they were human before, and for whatever reason, they're drawn to this area. They're drawn to this home. They're drawn to the ley line. There's actually 17 portals in this house where spirits can port back and through. They really, really want to talk. And I have a flashlight behind me. Could you turn on that flashlight, please, if you'd like to talk? If there's anybody that you want to talk to, turn it all the way on, please. Might take a minute. But there's a child spirit here that, well, we're not real sure if it's a child spirit. Could be something else that isn't as positive. But she does like the flashlight. She loves the pretty colors and she loves the flashlight. But I also wear crystals too when I'm in locations to make sure that I'm protected, because I'm packed down with lead and crystals. And bling. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, goodness. Well, we have some people commenting on, how cool it is and interesting. Does anyone have any questions about the Rem Pod before we move on to taking personal questions? Anyone have a question on how the Rem Pod works, or do the different lights mean something, Kerrigan?
No. Except for the middle one. The middle one is more of a temperature, to gauge what temperature. But the other ones, they can walk up to it, and they can touch it, or they can touch this part of it, and then we know that there's spirit here, and there's definitely a spirit here.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if it's Lyde, since Lyde died right here in front of this fireplace. Yeah.
Jess Morgan over on YouTube has a question. She says, "Thank you for this opportunity. I often feel a presence or energy around me, and now I feel like my daughter does too. Is this a positive or negative presence? Someone from my past? Thank you so much." So, do you know? Is there something how you can tell that, or do you have to know more about the situation?
I think I would have to know more about the situation, so we would have to talk about it to be able to understand what that is, and yeah, that's important. But when I tune into that with Jess and her daughter, I do feel like it's two things. One, I don't think it's somebody from her past, but it like a person that she knew that would
Mhm.
still be alive, like residual energy from them, because residual energy is a big thing too.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's that. It could be ancestry. It could be like guardian angel, as we would, say. Like my father is in the spirit realm, so sometimes he just pops up, and he does. Like I was on the couch one day at my home, and I thought my husband and my son were in the room, but I didn't understand why they were watching Bonanza. Nobody watches Bonanza. My son's a hip hop artist, and my other one's my husband's a metal drummer. So I was like, why are these guys watching Bonanza? When I looked up, and I heard my dad say, "You're all sicked up, kiddo," because I was really sick. I wasn't feeling well. But he was in the living room, and the Bonanza came on the TV, and it just blew my mind. It literally blew my mind. But that stuff happens, and I feel like that's probably what's going on in Jess's home. It's probably a deceased loved one that's there to protect and love and take care of, and kind of clear away a path. Because for me, psychically, just tuning in to the feminine energy that's here through daughter, without even knowing the first name at that point, it feels like there's been ups and downs for the past year for them. And I just feel like when we are in crisis, when we are in like sticky situations of our human life, that's when our deceased come in and they take care of us. They help us. They're there to guide us. That's probably what she's feeling.
Yeah. And if you do want to explain a little bit more, Jess, please give Kerrigan a call, and we'll be happy to go over more information with you. And then Kelsey, I know it's just going off in the background. Kelsey wants to know, where do you get one? Where do you get a Rem Pod?
Well, I'm not trying to. I'll tell you where I personally shop. I shop in Gettysburg at the Ghost Exchange, and if you tell Pam that Kerrigan from California Psychic sent you, that'd be all right. Another good one is the Ghost Shop. I believe they're out of Florida. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to look at a receipt, but I work with both of them. And you could go on Amazon if you want one. They're probably like 80 to 90, sometimes $100 a piece.
Good to know. And then the questions are pouring in, so I'm trying to see if I can get to. Well, I lost one. And I see a lot of people asking about, oh, my mom or my dad or my sister. Please use a first name, so it just makes it a little bit easier to connect, especially because we can't really have that back and forth confirmation of who you're talking about. So getting as much of that information in one chat message will be wonderful. So let's see if we can get someone's question answered real quick. Let's see. Lena on Facebook says, my grandma Helen and Uncle Ernest passed away. How are they doing? We're able to connect with Grandma Helen and Uncle Ernest.
Lena, the first information that's coming through psychically is Grandma Helen is okay. She's very focused on writing things down. I don't know if she was a writer, a painter, she did numbers to do bills or what, or recipes or something, but or even story, writer. She's very, I see her in the realm, in the spirit realm, writing things down now for your grandfather, Ernest. They're both okay. They're together. They're absolutely together. I don't feel like they're in their home that was here on Earth. I feel like they have a, it's like it's I see it in the realm as in a vast land, like a field, like they have a big field for, they have land is what I'm trying to say, and their home is on the land. They do have other family members that are with them, but they don't like live in that dwelling with them. They're in other parts of the realm. If that, I hope that makes sense. But yeah,
Yeah.
they're absolutely okay. 100% yes. And I do feel like they're going to be working with you. There's something about education. Either you're an educator, you're thinking about being educated more, or somebody in your home is getting ready to plunge into education, and they're saying that, and it's her that's saying it 'cause she's writing it down. She's saying that the education is the key. It will open up doors of opportunities.
Nice. I wanted to point out one more question about the Rem Pod before we move to the next one is Sharika. Ooh. Sharika was saying, this is very interesting. Can anyone have that machine in their home? And
No.
Sharika, I know I was about to say, you missed it at the beginning probably, but please do not have these in your home. You want to keep your home safe and ghost-free, spirit-free. So we would use these on different properties, so not where you live.
Yeah, and if you look inside your communities, they, contact your local paranormal investigators, because they're always holding public events where you can actually go and investigate with them. I mean, the paranormal community is so large. It's all over the world, and it's growing even more each day. And I know that there are different investigating teams that, if you follow them on social media, they'll post every now and then, hey, we are going to, the Geyer Opera House, or we're going to, this place or that place. And you can actually get into, or like the Moundsville State Penitentiary, you can actually do tours there, and you can actually walk the prison and actually have your REM pods, your K2 meters. We've got a lot of equipment to cover today, but
Yeah.
your equipment with you, but please don't ever use them in your home. Now, there are people out there that kind of frown on if you're going to cemeteries and stuff like that and trying to connect to people there. Then there's other investigators that do that for research, like crime murder research. There's fine lines of ethics there, but it's basically up to you how you want to do it. But cleanse yourself before and after every type of paranormal quest that you do.
Nice. Before we get to our next tool, which sneak peek to everyone is going to be a pendulum, I want to answer this person's questions because I didn't want him to pass it up and not being able to find it later. But Crystal here, I'm under a current psychic attack. How do they get here, and how do I make them leave? So if you do have an experience, how would you, Kerrigan, get these spirits to leave?
Well, I first of all, I don't feel like it's a spirit. I don't. I feel like it's somebody that's envious of her. I feel like it's somebody that is attacking her psychically. Okay. I feel like it's an actual human being. There's a lot of things that you can do. The first thing you want to do is get some kosher salt, mix it in water. And when you mix it in water, you want to bless your home. And you would, I personally, I call on Saint Michael, our archangel. I call on him, and I am I'll show you what this is in a little bit, but I'm a big kitty cat lover. So I am crazy cat lady 100%. So I always go back to the Egyptian goddess Bastet. And I always say, Bastet, send evil back, Miguel, protect. And I just take my hand and I bless it like a priest would bless us on Sunday morning in church. And I make sure you don't have any oil paintings, pictures that you're going to throw that salt on, because it'll eat it. The salt will eat them. I learned that the hard way. So don't do that. But then after while you're doing that, you have to have somebody there with you for frankincense and myrrh. You want to burn that frankincense. You want to burn that myrrh incense with you. You can even use sage if you'd like. And I would totally burn some Palo Santos and candles. I would get a St. Michael candle, and I would keep it burning. I would actually print out Michael's prayer and when I've been through a psychic attack before several times. It's not fun. And I actually printed out his prayer and his picture, and I taped it to my headboard of my bed because, and then now my whole room is in St. Michael. Another thing is the head of your bed has to be in the east. It can't be in the south because south brings in awful dreams, and you're under an attack for that. If you can get some crystal wands like this, make sure the point is up and put them in 4 quarters of your building or 4 quarters of each corner of your home. You can line your home with cedar. Everybody's going to think, oh, cedar. Okay, she's making some pretty things outside. Cedar's a protective wood, and cedar actually repels negativity. There's some iron spikes, railroad spikes. I would get 4 of them. Ooh, I feel it. I'm telling her what to do, and I can feel the energy coming from that. So anyway, I would get those iron spikes. I would soak them. We can talk about different herbs. If you want to do a direct message, I can write all this down for you so you have it as a recipe. So direct messages, you just direct message me. I'll probably get to it at some point in the wee hours of the morning, but I can write all that down to say, Kerrigan, what is the recipe for psychic attack so I can defend myself? But I would get those iron spikes and I would put them in every doorway of your home. Line your home with kosher salt. I mean, at that point in time,
Oh man, someone is impatient.
Yeah, I'm going to talk. We'll talk here in a minute. But at that point in time, your home is completely shut down from any type of energy. Mirrors. Okay. Mirror. If you have mirrors in your room, you need to face them to a window. Okay. You don't want to have a mirror facing to a wall because guess what? That creates a portal. And it's real stuff. I mean, it's truly real stuff. Every Sunday morning at 1:00 in the hour of God, I go through all of my mirrors and I wash them with either mugwort or vinegar because it removes all of the negative energy. There was one more thing I wanted to say, but it tripped me up. That thing tripped me up. I can't remember what it is now. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Well, if it comes to you, you can say it again. But without any further ado, our next tool is the pendulum. Do you want to tell people what a pendulum is and how it works?
Well, the first thing is pendulums are, let me put my Leo Lewis over here for a minute. So with pendulums, you never want to hold it like this, right? Because you're going to breathe. And when you breathe, you make it move. And then it's not real. It's debunked, right? So it's difficult to use these because you want to make sure that your elbows are on the table. Okay. I'll try to pull it up as far as I can. Your elbows are on the table. And when you ask a question, you're truly going to have to hold your breath if you're using yourself. So I'm going to ask a question as soon as it stops moving. Please show me your yes. So it's going side to side. So we know that that is a yes. Okay. Could you please stop? Thank you. Could you please show me your no? So it's going back and forth. That's the no. So you can ask yes or no questions with the pendulum. Lots of psychic mediums in the spiritualist movement, which I truly believe that's where I'm from. They would use pendulums. They would use candles to see if the flames grew larger or if they dimmed or spirit could blow them out. Listen, you don't ever want to blow a candle out if you're doing a memorial for someone or if you're praying to a deity or a saint or an angel or God. You never want to blow them out because that you're spitting on them. You don't want to do that. You want to take the candle and you want to snuff it out. So you can take a little bottle, snuff it out. That way it's taken care of.
I did not know that. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I use different types of I have a couple of different pendulums that we use for people that come to do seances. But they're infused with crystals, not only just because they're beautiful, but to protect other people that aren't as open or as advanced in the spirituality or paranormal. So when they're actually using these as divination tools, because it is, you're divinating, they can 100% be protected. So yeah, this one too, I mean, I know it looks like This was given to me, and there's a lot of herbs that are stuck
Beautiful.
in here. Yeah, and it has a little amethyst on it too. But I actually sometimes take this off, and this is my crystal, and I do use it as a pendulum. But you know, when you're using pendulums, you want to put them in moon energy. You don't want to put them in sunrise or solar energy. So you want to put them in new moon and full moon. Put them in the windows of your home where the moon is shining through to cleanse them and charge them.
Very cool. And then for anyone that is interested more in pendulums, on the California Psychics YouTube channel, we actually have, as part of our DIY spirituality series, how to make your own pendulum. So you can, you know, if you have a favorite crystal, you know, how to bring it up and make it into a pendulum. Definitely check that out on our YouTube channel under our DIY spirituality series. Real quick before we get into a question about using the pendulum, someone had missed the bed. Which direction does your headboard have to be? Is it on the east, and make sure it's not the south?
Don't put it ever in the south. Don't.
Okay.
The east is good. The north is good. The west is okay. You know, I always keep it in the east, and my room is very awkward. So it doesn't even look like a psychic room because it's just a weird room. But I still have to put my great big California king in the east and share it with 6 cats. So, and cats are good too. Cats are very, very protective. They truly are. So our puppies, cats are cooler.
Okay. So let's see. This isn't really a yes or no question, so I don't know if it will. Does anyone, for the pendulum, if you have a yes or no question, throw that in there. And if not, we'll hold off on some of the other questions until we get to a different tool. Or if I ask some and then Kerrigan, you just want to use your own psychic abilities to answer them, we'll go with that as well. Let's see what we're getting in.
Oh my gosh. I want to show you, but I don't want to freak anybody out. This doll just grabbed my arm.
No way it did not.
It really did. Do you want to see it?
Yes. Oh.
You guys ready?
Kerrigan, no. That is so creepy.
Look at its eyes. I shouldn't even be this close to it. I can't believe I'm doing this. I love you, California Psychics. Look, even like the lighting in this room has changed on the camera since I pulled this doll in front of
oh my gosh.
the computer. Yeah, a paranormal team left this doll here because they say it's so haunted they didn't want it. Yeah.
Oh.
Have you ever seen a doll with pink eyes before?
No, I have not, and now it scares me.
This should be my new California Psychics profile picture.
Oh my gosh, that'd be too much. So this wasn't a yes or no question. So I would say, however you want to answer this one, Kerrigan. Gerald Moore over on YouTube says, "My dad is Eddie Woods, and he has passed away, and I miss him so much. Is he with me, and does he have any message for me? Is he protecting me on the other side?"
You know, the thing that with Eddie here, your dad, 100%, because you are his carnation. You know, you're a reincarnation. You are his legacy, and that's truly what I'm hearing psychically with him. Yeah, I do feel 100% he's with you. 100% he's taking care of you, and I feel like he is 100% moving things out of your way, making your path easier. But he wants you to ask him more questions. He wants you to talk to him more. Tell him specifically what you need. I'm going to turn this off. I can't. I can't. Okay.
That's good that he wants. Did it just turn on again?
I'm taking the battery out. If this thing comes out without the battery in it, I'm going to freak out, and I'm going to end this and leave. So I'm just joking. I will.
But oh my goodness, that'll freak me out too. But yeah, that's awesome that Gerald's dad is with him and wants him to talk to him more. I hear that a lot from you whenever you give responses, is that sometimes, you know, just if the person is protecting you, tell them exactly what you need and what you want, and they'll help you as much as possible. So that's always a good feeling to have.
Yes. I'm going to replace the Rem Pod with this little twist mag flashlight.
Nice. And then our next question is a yes or no question, so we can use a pendulum on this one. Fareed says, yes or no, will I be a Czech tutor very soon? Or Spanish, so kind of not.
Let's see. You see the check? Let's see. What's his name?
Fareed.
Will Fareed be a tutor in Czechoslovakia? Yes.
Nice.
Oh, look, yes. 100% yes.
Turned on.
Yes, that's major confirmation right there. Could you turn it on if he'll be a tutor, a Spanish tutor? Could you turn it on if Fareed? Fareed will be a Spanish tutor. Yes or no, please. Let me go this way. You'll do both. You will do both, but the Czech's coming in stronger than Spanish.
Nice. Let's see if we can take one more yes or no question for the pendulum, and then we'll move on to the next tool. So Vanessa over on Facebook says, yes or no, will Tom meet by Halloween? I don't know if that means Tom and her.
So Vanessa wants to know if Tom will meet her by Halloween. It's saying yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's saying yes.
Nice.
Somebody light up the flashlight if that's a confirmation, please. I don't know. Yeah, here we go. Okay. No.
Huh? Maybe we'll have to see on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Vanessa, come back next week so we can, well, we're not going to be here next week, actually. The 8th. Come back the 8th and tell us how it goes. Speaking of times coming up or lives coming up, we do have a little bit of a weird schedule in the next couple of months just because of all the holidays. We know people are going to be with family and might not be able to watch a lot of these. So our next lives are going to be November 8th and the 15th. And then we're going to have our tarot live on the 22nd. So for anyone that's new, our tarot lives, they're not on camera, but one of our psychics will be taking over all of our social media channels and typing out the responses to people's questions. So for November, we're having a regular Facebook and YouTube live on the 8th and the 15th. The 22nd will be a tarot live. And then December, again, we're going to have a short schedule because of holidays. So December 6th and the 13th, we are going to be doing our regular scheduled Facebook and YouTube lives. Make sure you mark your calendars. We're going to send out reminders as well. If you follow us on Facebook, we will send out calendar events as well as post about it. If you follow us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell icon. The bell icon will send you push notifications to your phone whenever we go live, so you never miss a moment. Now, do you want to talk about your jewelry box and your hat shack? Tell us about those tools.
All right, so this is a motion sensor. When kind of like the Rem Pod, when a spirit walks up to it, it will actually make a sound like this.
I heard that. I would be so freaked out.
Yeah, so actually this is all handmade. This is just different speakers and stuff, but The sensory motion is definitely right up in here. You can see the little grooves that we use and then all the glue to glue it together. This has only worked one time for me. It's never worked in this location for me ever, never. But it has worked for me in Gettysburg on Sachs Bridge. If you ever get a chance to check out the Jenny Wade House, the Hoover House, those are really great. In the battlefields, Devil's Den, Gettysburg is. I will retire there one day. I hope.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the Hack Shack. What is that?
Okay, so back in the day, I would say probably about 1990s, we used to use these little Radio Shack transistor radios to communicate with spirits. So you turn it on and you put it on AM, which it is, and then you sweep it. So you want to scan it. And you're going to see all these numbers. It's scanning through the radio stations and it's creating a white noise. And the theory is that spirits can actually talk to us through this. And I've had it happen. So I'll ask a question real quick. Is anybody here with us today? Could you please tell us your name? Is there anyone here with us? Let me lock it. I forgot to lock it. Seth. Did you guys hear that?
Yes.
Could you say hi to Carly? Did I lock that? Can you say hi to Carly? Said something. I couldn't understand what it said. See you. I see you. That's so cool.
It is.
So this was the beginning. At least for me, this was my very, very first piece of equipment. And I love it. Now I have like 4 of them. So they're hard to get. You can't really find these anymore. But then they moved up to what we call an SB7. And it's just a smaller version of it. And it's so hard to see. Excuse me. I'm so sorry.
Those are cute glasses.
Thank you. All right. So then we're going to sweep. Hello, can you tell us how many spirits are here with us? Can you tell us how many spirits are in the room? I said something. Can you say hi, Kerrigan?
Candace said she heard 2.
2? Okay. 2. It just said 2. It just said 2. Yeah. So that's how this one works. I mean, we can ask other questions. You always want to keep these on AM because it's going to scan radio. And, sometimes if you have it on FM, you have more susceptibility of a DJ saying, and tonight at Tom's Diner, we're having $9.99. And you could think the spirit's name's Tom and there's 9 spirits in the room with you. So, but that's not the case. So you always want to try to keep it on AM to make sure that you're getting the correct data.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, and then we've moved up. We've totally evolved in the paranormal community, with different types of equipment. What I love, and there's only a few of them in the world, and I have one. The man that makes them actually made one for me,
That's awesome.
specifically for this location. And I'll show you that. Let me grab it real quick.
Yeah.
I got to stand up. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
This is called a portal.
Oof.
And this, I'm going to have to pull this down. This portal is made with guitar pedals, and it cleans up reverb, and you can clean anything up on it to where you can actually hear spirits in real time, and they are 100% clear. I don't feel comfortable trying to connect to deceased loved ones through this equipment in a location as active as this, because the theory is that if I do pull in those spirits through here, not just naturally through me, they actually might get stuck here, and I don't want anybody's spirit stuck in a haunted location.
Yeah, we won't do that.
Right. But let me see. Oh, I hope this is down low. But this is where you can actually use an application on your phone now. I'm going to show you how to do that. One moment. I don't want to make it too loud. Hello. Hi, guys. Can you hear us?
Oh no.
Can you see us?
No, they told me that.
Something told me that. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Is there anybody here that can give us a reading? Four of Pentacles. You're saying tarot. This copper is a conduit. You can give some of your energy, but it's also protected where it won't take all of it. And then this is an actual big quartz crystal. I know it's you can't see all of it. With this quartz crystal, if you hold both of them, and then I have a grid up here too, a grid for communication. That's all gold and copper. I use that on here too to make the best communication. Sunlight, yes. Are you looking for sunlight? Is it too dark? You can talk now. You don't have to use the Rem Pod anymore.
Coronary.
Coronary. Lied, had died of heart complications.
Special treatment.
Is there anybody here that wishes to communicate with us? Could you say who you are, please? Edwin, are you here?
Your haircuts.
Haircuts. Yeah, I need a haircut.
So do I.
For the motivation and the clap. What I'm going to do is
What I'm going to do?
Man.
hard, and I'm just gonna.
But do you hear how clear it is now?
Yeah.
So when we go into seance settings and people, not in this location, but other locations, when they want to try to connect to their deceased loved one through medium, but they want to hear them in real time, then I'll help them with this. And then they can actually sit down and have a conversation with the spirits of the location or their deceased loved ones.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
And then I know we're not going to use it with that tool, but Jasmine says, what a device. Does my grandfather, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, K-Wall, have any messages for me? So is there anything that you can tell Jasmine about her grandfather, K-Wall?
Okay. Just shift gears here. Sorry. Let's see. I just feel like I'm in a very, very hot and dry climate when I'm tuning into him. It's very, very warm. It's very um he was very, very spiritual. I do feel that he has been protecting her because, and this is why I say that, is because there has been some fair weather friends around her, people that are trying to ride her skirt tails because she is going to be climbing the ladder of success. And I feel like there's some people that want to attach themselves to her to not have to work. And oh, because she's my friend, because Jasmine's my friend, she'll open these doors for me. And he's trying to show you clearly. So trust that gut feeling, trust that first thought process, because I do feel like he's talking to you about what you should do, what you shouldn't do right in that moment of when you're supposed to do it or not do it. Um, I feel like there's a male energy coming in with you too that's here. Um, there's a lot of love around it. There's it doesn't feel like brother, doesn't feel like blood energy. It feels like you've landed where you're supposed to be with someone. There's definitely male energy there, whether it's your partner, your coworker, or whatever it is, your director of photography, something. There's that is there, and you have landed where you're supposed to be with that person. They're male.
Very interesting. Jasmine, if that resonates with you, please throw it in the comments. I'd love to find out. And if you want to learn more, you can always give Kerrigan a call for a one-on-one reading. And a reminder to everyone, Kerrigan's bio link where you can schedule a reading or schedule an appointment or get in her queue. That's going to be linked in the description of this YouTube video as well as on the Facebook post. And if you're a first-time customer, so you've never gotten a reading with California Psychics, make sure you use the promo code GHOST10. It's right there on the bottom of the screen right now, and it'll be in the description. GHOST10 will get you a bonus $10 added to your account when you purchase your first reading. So that's an extra, I mean, if you're, again, first-time customer, those $1 a minute psychics are going to be up there. That's an extra 10 minutes that you can have a conversation with a psychic. And I also want to remind everyone we have a program called Karma Rewards. Karma Rewards is our free loyalty program, easy to sign up. Just go to our website or our app and click on the Karma Rewards link in our description. And first time you sign up, you get an extra $20 added to your account. So this is all this extra money you can use to get a reading with Kerrigan. And Kerrigan, do you want to remind everyone when you're going to be on this week?
Tomorrow I'll be on at noon and I'll be on at 1 for 2 hours, noon to 1. That's what I know so far. But I'll be honest with you, I love chat. And there's some construction going on in my home right now where it gets loud with, roofers and stuff like that. So I really like chat, and I'll hop on chat a lot. So if you want to, chat, remember your transcripts, you can actually see what we're writing to each other, and you can keep that for yourself too. I love that part of it. But I love chat too. And I've learned that I can speak into my phone to where it's just like having a reading. So it comes through quicker and it saves a lot of time. Sometimes my phone says words it probably shouldn't say because I'm speaking into it to save time. So if I catch it, I'll say, I'm sorry. But normally it's just like having a reading, but it's private too. You can, if you're at work or if you need to excuse yourself real quick and you don't want anybody to hear you talk, just log on to that chat button. It's amazing. It's absolutely, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and we have, if Kerrigan is not online or she has a full queue, feel free to browse all of our psychics. We have over 500 psychics on California Psychics now. It blows my mind how many amazing psychics we have. You can go to our website or our app. You can search for the topic you want to talk about. You can search for the type of ability the psychic has. So for example, if you're looking for a love reading, and a tarot reading, you can look under love psychics and someone that also knows how to use tarot and find the perfect psychic for you. And then Kerrigan, what are some of your other specialties? We know that you are a fantastic medium, but what are some of the other types of readings that you do for California Psychics?
I'm pretty good at knowing what other people think about, like in relationship situations. I work with spirit a lot with that, and I'm pretty good at understanding and hearing and seeing and feeling what other people might think, so you can have a couple steps ahead of it to see if you should kind of cool off, let it cool off, let it cool down, or be aggressive about it, or sometimes I really like to shoot straight from the hip and look right into the heart of the matter, the heart and soul of the situation. I'm very straightforward. I mean everything I say with love, but I like the love readings. I really do, but I'm not scared to tell you when it's time to walk away. I'm not. And I will say it with love. And if you don't like that, that's okay. But normally when it clicks, I'm still here and I'm always going to be here. I'm not going anywhere. So sometimes the information that comes through, some people aren't ready for it. And that's okay. Cause I remember being that person, believe it or not, I was that person too. But once you get through all of the human emotions and doubting your self-worth and doubting, nobody else is ever going to want me. I don't even know what I'm going to do now. Let's look at what you could do. Let's look at your options. Let's look at what spirit is guiding you to do. I love doing those. I love career. I am horrible at money. I cannot tell you what your income is going to be, what your raise is going to be. I'm not good at that. Geez, I can't do lottery, even though we're not allowed to. I couldn't do it anyway. I can't do that stuff. I I can. I'm good at timelines, but I depend on nature for that. Believe it or not, I depend on actually closing my eyes and asking spirit to show me seasons or flowers or herbs, and knowing when they're in bloom, or spirit animals, and knowing when the spirit animals are in like in the spring or the summer or the fall, and then I can kind of detect what month that would be. Like there was a reading that I did today, and I just kept seeing and smelling tulips, tulips, tulips. Well, when are we going to reconnect? And I keep seeing tulips, and I'm like, March. Yeah, it's because that's when the tulips start popping up out of the ground. There's so many different things too. I mean, there's different quarterly energies and stuff like that in Northeast Southwest. I work with the archangels big time. Like those are my go-tos. I do still work with Yamaya and Abatala. They are my spiritual parents. I work with Christ. I work with Mother Mary. There's so many different, because we're with California Psychics. The awesome part about it is we're dealing with multicultural diversity, not only people but religions too. And believe it or not, when I was in graduate school, I took multicultural diversity of religion to be able to help the most people. And thank goodness I did, because here we are today.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kerrigan, I can't believe our time is already up. It went by so fast. I know. We're already overtime, technically. This was fascinating, and I loved this discussion. Oh, yeah. Do you want to talk real quick?
Real quick. I got to show you guys my Leo Lewis. This is my kitty cat, but it's not a real stuffed animal. What is a real stuffed animal? But guess what? It's a motion detector. Annie has a collar Rem Pod.
That is so cool.
So if I was a spirit, he would be going off. He's never gone off in this location either. Never. And I don't leave him here either. I take him in my Cadillac with me when I go everywhere. People think I'm crazy because I got this paranormal equipped cat with me, and I'm going and I'm like, here's my kitty cat, Leo.
This was so much fun, and I really appreciate you coming on here and telling everyone about your experiences and sharing your gift with everyone. I know that we've gotten so many compliments in the chat. I couldn't even pop them all up. And we also didn't get to a lot of questions because we had so many. So I highly encourage everyone, please give Kerrigan a call. And if she's unavailable, one of our many psychics on the line, they'll be happy to help you. And come back on November 8th. November 8th, we will be back here doing our regular scheduled Facebook and YouTube lives. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic week.